the coach thought I was just weak. He yelled at me in front of the whole team until I collapsed on the field. But when my mom stormed onto the field, she exposed a truth that left everyone speechless. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't weak. I was fighting asthma. And the school already knew. Houston, Texas. Middle school football practice. If you've ever grown up in Texas, you know one thing is almost sacred: football. Friday nights, stadium lights, bands playing, whole towns turning out just to watch kids barely out of childhood crash into each other for bragging rights. And for me, Tyler Brooks, 12 years old, 7th grade, that world felt more like a nightmare than a dream. I wasn't the star quarterback. I wasn't fast. I wasn't strong. Most days, I just tried to survive practice. But surviving wasn't enough for Coach Randall Hayes. Coach Hayes was the kind of man who believed toughness fixed everything. Crew cut, whistle around his neck, veins bulging when he yelled. That day, the sun baked down on the field. My lungs felt heavy, but I kept running drills, stumbling behind the rest of the team. "Brooks," Coach Hayes roared, "you call that running? My grandma could do better with a walker." The team burst out laughing. Jordan Carter, the star wide receiver, doubled over, clapping his hands. "Come on, Brooks. Maybe they'll let you carry water instead of the ball." Heat rushed to my face. I wanted to disappear. But Coach wasn't done. "You think you can play in Texas football moving like a turtle? Hustle! Move those legs before I glue you to the bench permanently." I tried. I really did. I pumped my arms, pushed my legs, ignored the burning in my chest. My cleats dug into the turf, but every breath felt like glass shredding my lungs. Still, I forced myself forward. Anything to stop the laughter. Anything to prove I wasn't just a joke. But then my legs gave out. I fell face first into the turf. The world spun, my chest tightened, every breath short and ragged. "Get up, Brooks," Coach barked. "Don't waste my time lying in the dirt." I wheezed, clawing at the grass. "Coach, I can't." "Can't?" he thundered. "There's no such thing as can't. Get up or get out." The laughter grew louder. Jordan jogged past, smirking. "Hey, Brooks, want me to call your mommy?" The words hit harder than any tackle. I bit down, fighting the tears burning in my eyes. Boys weren't supposed to cry. Not on the field, not in Texas. But I couldn't get up. My body refused. Coach shook his head, disgusted. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And that's when it happened. The field fell strangely silent. Cleats stopped pounding. Whispers rippled through the players. Even Jordan shut his mouth. Because walking across the field, her heels clicking against the asphalt path that led to the sideline, was my mom, Erica Brooks. She wasn't tall, but when she walked with purpose, everyone noticed. Dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, eyes blazing like she'd been waiting for this moment her whole life. I froze. The team froze. Even Coach Hayes blinked in surprise. My mom's voice cut through the field like a blade. "Coach Hayes," she called out, her voice steady but furious. "What exactly do you think you're doing to my son?" The air turned electric. The team shuffled nervously. Coach tightened his jaw, clearly not expecting to be challenged, especially not by a parent, and definitely not in front of everyone. And me? I sat on the turf, my chest still burning, praying she wouldn't make things worse, but knowing deep down things were about to explode. What would you do if you saw a coach yelling at your kid like that? Step in right away or let them tough it out? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see how divided you all are. And trust me, this story doesn't stop here. Because in part 2, when my mom confronts Coach Hayes, a shocking truth comes out that leaves the entire team speechless. Subscribe to Goodness Corner right now so you don't miss the first big twist. The coach thought yelling at me would make me tougher. But when my mom walked on that field, he learned the truth and it changed everything. The entire team froze. The sound of my mom's heels cut across the silence as she marched right onto the field. "Coach Hayes," she repeated, her voice sharp, "I asked you a question. What exactly do you think you're doing to my son?" Coach Hayes' face turned a shade of red I'd never seen before. He was used to yelling at kids, not being called out in front of an audience. "Mrs. Brooks," he said, trying to keep his voice steady, "your son needs to toughen up. Football isn't for the weak. If he can't handle a little yelling, he shouldn't be out here." My eyes narrowed. Toughen up? He couldn't breathe, Randall. Did you even notice that? The players shuffled awkwardly. Jordan Carter smirked, but even he looked uneasy. My mom bent down, helping me sit up. She put her hands on my back, steady and protective. "Tyler has asthma," she said firmly, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "And I filed medical paperwork with this school months ago. You knew that, coach, or at least you should have." The field went dead silent. My heart thundered. She just revealed the one thing I'd been hiding from my teammates. I didn't want them to see me as fragile. I wanted to be normal. But now they all knew. Coach Hayes stiffened. "Asthma, that's just an excuse. I've seen plenty of kids with conditions push through. He's lazy, Mrs. Brooks. That's the truth." "Lazy?" she snapped. "You humiliate my son in front of his peers, ignore his medical condition, and call that coaching? That's neglect." Gasps rippled through the team. The commotion must have carried, because within minutes, Mr. Dawson, the principal, appeared at the edge of the field. A tall man with glasses, always caught in the middle of conflicts. "What's going on here?" he asked, looking between my mom, coach, and me. My mom wasted no time. "What's going on is that this coach is endangering my son's health. I filed medical paperwork with this school. Tyler's asthma isn't a secret. Yet here he is being screamed at until he collapses." Mr. Dawson looked uneasy. His eyes darted at Coach Hayes. "Is this true?" Coach tightened his jaw. "This is football, Dawson. Kids get tired. They get winded. If we start making exceptions, we might as well cancel the season." Mr. Dawson sighed, rubbing his forehead. "We'll review the medical files, but if Tyler's condition was filed with the school, this is serious. Let me stop here and ask you, if you were Principal Dawson standing between an angry parent and a proud coach, what would you do? Take the parent's side or defend the coach for discipline? Comment below. I want to see your thoughts." And as the principal spoke, the team whispered among themselves. I caught Jordan's voice. "Figures, Brooks is too soft for football, needs his mommy to fight his battles." My stomach clenched. Tears stung in my eyes. But my mom heard him. She turned and faced the whole team. You think strength means laughing at someone struggling? Let me tell you something. Real strength is getting up every day and trying again, even when your body fights against you. That's strength my son shows, and maybe some of you could learn from it. The whispers died instantly. Even Jordan looked away. But Coach Hayes wasn't done. His pride wouldn't let him back down in front of the parents, players, and principal. With all due respect, Mrs. Brooks, if Tyler can't handle this, he doesn't belong on my field. End of story. The words cut deep, but my mom didn't flinch. She stepped closer, lowering her voice just enough that only she, I, and the principal could hear. You're not half the